All right, quick video while I finish up numbers 5 and 6 on confidence intervals. Number 5 here, I'm just going to read the very last sentence of these things because I kind of think that's what's important for you guys to do as well, and then go back and think about what necessary information you need. The last question here, or number 5 says, what table value, critical value, would be used in the interval calculation? So again, we're talking about confidence intervals. We can again see that here, a confidence interval for a true mean. So we know what section we're in. We're talking about a z interval or a t interval. We're on the formula sheet in those two possible options. Now, we need to figure out if we're doing a z or a t, right? If we're to have the mean or we don't. So the first sentence says, a simple random sample of size 21 is taken from a normal distribution with an unknown mean and standard deviation. So again, standard deviation here is in the same sentence as unknown. So we do not know the real standard deviation for this distribution. So this means sigma is unknown. So this would lead us to, on our formula sheet again, because this is where you should be going to sort of like, this is everything I need to know. We're talking about intervals for a mean when we don't have the standard deviation. So we're talking about that t interval again. So that's the formula that we're kind of talking about. Now, this particular question asked us for the table value. This is the part of this that we get off the table, right? This t star. So we need to figure out what the heck t star is. That's what our question is asking for. So they are asking us, what is t star? Which means those of us who've gotten really good at t interval in our calculators are going to have to go to the table. But t star is really easy to grab off the table. We need two pieces. We need our degree of freedom, which is n minus 1. That's definitely note card material if you don't know it. So 21 minus 1, we're looking for a DF of 20, and we need our confidence level. So our confidence level is 98%. Once we have those two pieces, we've got everything we need to get a t star. Like we saw in the first example, we know our DF was 20. I've already forgotten what our confidence level was. I think it was a 98. Yes, 98. All right, so 20 and a 98. That's my table value, 2.528. So that's the whole piece of this question, just asking which of those we'll be using, 2.528. That's our answer. These two questions are just being off a row or off a column. A would be using the z instead. So very important that you recognize that this is a t question, not a z question. All right, so number 6 is the only other one left here for our confidence interval formulas. This one says, what is our margin of error? Now, margin of error, we do have these formulas, but if we read through what we have here, it says a study was conducted to estimate a true proportion, so not these formulas because those are for means, of Chuck Norris's roundhouse kicks that hit their intended target. A 95% confidence interval, right, confidence level is 95%, for the true proportion that landed on their target was calculated. So we couldn't even, if we had wanted to use the formula for a proportion, the margin of error formula is z star times the square root p hat q hat all over n. We don't have anything. We can get a z star, but that's literally all we can do. So this is not helpful. This is not going to do it for us. Instead, we need to think of something else. And this question is all about the fact that we have our given confidence interval. Remember, for these questions, our margin of error is just half of our range of this confidence interval, upper minus lower divided by 2. So we just need to do that in our calculators. We need 212 minus 0.7788 and then divide by 2. One thing to be very careful of when you're entering this in your calculator, make sure you don't, as an example, enter this in one line. It will only divide the last half and then you're going to be wrong. You want to make sure that you either use parentheses or you do it in 2 steps, so that way the division is happening to the whole thing. According to my calculator, the margin of error here is 0.0212. Common mistakes are just doing the subtraction and not dividing by 2, solving for the wrong thing, doing upper plus lower and finding the point estimate instead of finding the margin of error. Those are common mistakes that I see on the exam. So that's it for confidence intervals. I'll do another video with sample size.